Welcome on in, fans. This is Bob Hauk on the call, coming to you for a midweek matchup for some non-conference lacrosse play. The Mount St. Mary College Knights are defending their home turf against the new Paltz Hawks. The Hawks, the neighbor of the Northwest, to the Knights. The Knights, 2-4 in this year. The Hawks, 1-6. New Paltz is 3-1 all time against the Knights. In the last matchup, New Paltz won handedly. New Paltz has won by 3 or more goals in the last 3 matchups between these teams. The only and first time the Knights beat the Hawks was in an overtime matchup in 2022. So, we are about to get underway here in just a moment for a 4 p.m. face-off as the specialists square up, and we are clear for takeoff. The boys going to work here as the ball gets kicked out to New Paltz, and we will get underway. New Paltz taking their time off rip. Smith, team's leading goal scorer, number 29, running around. The Hawks in royal blue, attacking from left to right. Your Knights in white, attacking from right to left. The Knights win the ground ball, almost. Lose it, scrambling around for it. Ball gets picked up, shot, and a goal for the Hawks off rip. Killian Yambor gets a tally to start the game here, 30 seconds in. Not a great start for the Knights, as we'll get a break in the action and give you a little bit of a game breakdown this season thus far. The Knights, fairly good at goal prevention, though a little ironic given what just happened on screen. The Hawks, not very good at goal prevention. They have been utilizing 3 different goalkeepers this year. Their second option goalkeeper in the sticks today, Zach Novak, the sophomore from Bethlehem, New York, as the Knights win this one. So, Corallo gets his first faceoff win of the day. The faceoff specialist charging forward, takes a rip, gets saved by Novak. As we are on a fast break, and I will take a step away from the stats. The Hawks charging forward, looking for the money slot. Can't quite find it. Lean makes the save. Ball gets flicked out. Knights looking to win this ground ball, as they will try and reset and get out of the zone. A lofting pass over to Lean, and we will reset. So Kenny Lean with a better save percentage than the entire goalkeeper room of New Paltz. As this ball has to get across the line, it does. Kenny Lean second in the conference of the Skyline Conference in save percentage, as his 59% save percentage outdoes the 56% save percentage of New Paltz. So the Knights taking their time. Robbie Maurer on the ball, passes it up top. Henry Missick, the leading goal scorer of the Knights thus far this year with 7 tallies. Tyler McKay now with it, takes his time. Knights wearing, I believe, a gray short-looking combo today, which is slightly odd. I don't recall that last time I was around. It's been a little bit. Knights did win their last match here on their home turf when I wasn't here to commentate. I believe I was away. So it's good to be back. Okay, making a move, looking to get inside, steps inside the crease. You can't do that. So Novak will resume. Getting pressed by McKay still as he tries to get the ball out. He does. Ball gets fired up across the midway line, and New Paltz will charge forward. Walters flicks it off to Smith. Smith now looking for options. Checks it back up top to Cleary. Cleary now over to Darkin. Jello. Fun name on that one. McLaughlin gets into the action, looks to make a move. Checks back up top to his attacker, and we'll take our time. Darkin Jello again. Looking to jar inside. Looks for a man. Shoots, scores. Colin. Nick Darcangelo goes top shelf for the goal to get the New Paltz Hawks ahead by 2. As the Knights off to a shaky start, the Hawks double their lead. I had that wrong. Colin Clear. Okay, so the guy I thought scored the goal did score the goal. I second-guessed myself, and I got it wrong. So Knights win this one. So Corallo, 2-1 on faceoffs on the day. The New Paltz Hawks, I presume losing some gentlemen to a midweek matchup because there are classes and guys do have commitments to school before sports, are missing a few starters. Their regular faceoff man is not here today. So they are not rolling with any of their first options for two of the most important positions on the field. As the Knights will reset here, Missick hangs that up at the top of the key, looks for options. Looks to get around the point man, can't quite. Not a lot of off-ball movement just yet from the Knights. It goes back to McKay. McKay now. Checks back door. Pagano trying to get around. Pagano can't quite. Up top to Maurer. Maurer enjoying himself a fruitful sophomore year. 6 goals, 5 more than he scored last year, as he's really appreciated his new role in attack. Pagano there, first ball going to stay with the, not stay with the Knight side. I thought he was there first. Something got called that I wasn't aware of. So Harrington, the captain of New Paltz, will resume us, as he will charge forward. No pressure from any white jerseys. So he tries to fling that upfield, goes a little errant. The Knights will get this right back. So Lands are the closest to it. He'll get us back into play here. And Wilstyle was interrupted by the action of Lacrosse. Kenny Lean, 8.6 goals allowed per game on average so far. That is about half, almost half of the New Paltz goalie room, who is allowing almost 15 a game. Though doesn't seem to be very matterful currently, as New Paltz jumps out to a 2-0 lead. If you're just joining us, welcome on in. This is Bob Houck on the call on a midweek non-conference game. 2 local teams to each other. We're about 30 minutes apart. The Knights reset up top, cutting inside, looking for a shot. Can't quite get the bounce shot. McKay made a nice, nifty move to get into the slot. Couldn't quite find the netting. Pagano will reset us over on the wide side. Far left, bottom left of your screen. Back up top to Maurer, and we'll do it all over again. So back to Missick. Takes his time, looks to cut in, can't quite. Holding on that right hand, lets it rip. Gets saved by Novak. So Novak been tested so far, been proven strong to the task. New Paltz blitzing ahead, pass back door, does not quite find its target. Ortiz on that play there, got it all the way upfield, had a man hacking at his stick, kept off the check, and then just couldn't quite find the pass. As the Knights go back forward here, they'll take possession. Full shot clock to work with. McKay now waiting for his attacker to get into position. Less than 10 minutes and counting in the first period here. Back up top to Maurer. Over to Missick. Missick now waits. Sends it back to his point man. No traffic moving just yet, as there are a few off-ball movements. As McKay will hang out behind the net. Mackay, I think I had that wrong last time I was doing a game. Mackay now, cutting in, looking for a man in the slot. Pagano will let it fly, just over the net. Maurer there first, and the Knights will retain possession. 24 seconds and counting on the shot clock. So a basketball possession for the Knights to try and find themselves their first goal of today and get themselves back into this matchup. Mitchell now with it. Missick trying to find his way around the push of New Paltz. Wilbert having none of it. Keeping him on the perimeter. The Knights shot clock winding down. Got to find a shot here. No one cutting into the slot. 3, 2, 1. The Knights are going to lose the ball. There was nothing off ball. No options available. And another strong possession from New Paltz to keep the ball well away from their net. As they charge back forward here, Wilbert going up Broadway. Flicks it off to O'Connor. And O'Connor now, the long pole, charging in. And now Smith. Smith now with it, lets his attackers get subbed in and take their positions. Cleary now with it. Bright red shoes, bright green stick head. Quite a flamboyant looking gentleman. He's very easy to spot on the field. Hayden now gets it back door to his attackers. Some snappy passing from New Paltz. Smith now with it. There we go. Backdoor again goes Yambor. Looking for options. Bounce pass back up top to Cleary. Cleary now looks for a shot. Can't quite get it. Another pass goes errant. Yambor couldn't hold on to that, as New Paltz gets the ground ball back anyways. Back to the top of the key. New Paltz looking for a shot. Can't quite get it. Shot clock winding down. Got to take a shot. Lean makes a save. Ball deflects. 4 seconds and counting on the shot clock. And New Paltz. I lied. Ball deflected off of Lean, so shot clock gets reset. So New Paltz gets a full 60 seconds to work with again. Apologies. Forgot how Lacrosse worked there for a moment. New Paltz charges in, looks for a shot. Save made by Lean. Kenny Lean, a top 3 goaltender in the Skyline Conference, flexing his muscles. The senior has experienced 3 sound years here as he continues to be a brick wall between those sticks, despite the 2 goals given up thus far. Mitchell looking to get into the slot, can't quite find it, looking to win the ground ball. Gets a body on it, and Corallo grabs a hold of it, and the faceoff specialist will take his time. Faceoff specialist doubling as an attacker here. Gives it back to Maurer up top, and now Maurer will reset and wait for his attackers to get into position. Guy looks to get around the defense. Walter's having none of it. As we'll go back up to Corallo. Corallo can't quite find his way through the defense. High pass to Pagano. Some heavy hits from the stick to the high torso region of Pagano. So no foul called on the play. And it's looking to win that ground ball, an errant pass. An awkward ball as New Paltz wins it. New Paltz charging forward with a jailbreak, though whistle is called. There's an injury on the field, it looks. Nelson got tripped up awkwardly on the play. Can't quite find himself onto his own feet, so I will step aside for just a moment here. So Nelson is helped off the sideline. An awkward jumble there as a ground ball got shot out loose. New Paltz did end up winning it, though, at the cost of one of their attackers. Midfielders getting an awkward bounce on his leg. So New Paltz retains possession here. They'll have almost a full shot clock to work with as we have a hint under 6 minutes left in the first period. Paltz looking to charge inside. Gets a shot angle. Shot off and goal. McLaughlin makes a wonderful move. Off the floor and on the board goes New Paltz as they're 3-0 up in this first period. Wonderfully creative angle there as he dipped the left shoulder, widened his hips, and let one fly off the floor. Of course, turf is a rather bouncy surface. And got it past the outstretched stick head of Lean. So another duel at midfield. The backup faceoff specialist Lloyd winning one for New Paltz, as New Paltz will resume possession here. New Paltz the dominant squadron so far. Some very, very strong defensive holds. More ground balls won than the Knights, and more aggressive offense thus far. As Dark Angelo tries to get things started as New Paltz loses it, and the Knights also lose it. So Kindenberg picks up his own ground ball, gets it back to Lean. Dombrowski has it, gets it over to Loffman. And we're back into the offensive zone. Chufo stands alone, gets it off to Pagano. Pagano now looking to find his way back behind the cage. Being pressed heavily by the long pole of New Paltz. Attackers back into position now. Mackay waits for his substitutes to move into where they need to move into. As he gets it off to Maurer. Maurer charges in off of a screen. One shot, doesn't get it. Gets an opening to get behind the cage. 24 and counting for the Knights. No movement off ball just yet. Tries to check inside. Mackay got whacked, and he loses the ball immediately. New Paltz with an awkward possession, trying to get it out. A nifty move by Novak, as he keeps on charging forward. Has to get across the midfield line. Ball gets deflected, though New Paltz holds on to it. So an impressive outfield display from the backup goaltender Novak. The shot is fired wide by Yambor. Stick pressed to his head. That was certainly one he could have buried into the net. Though a break for the Knights as they get the ball right back. Dombrowski now the long stick holding it over to the other long pole. Poor terminology there. As Sean Burns now fires it all the way upfield to Robbie Maurer. Sophomore tandem as they try to get it past midfield. Loffman couldn't quite get it across in time as the Knights give up possession. So if you're just joining, you don't know, you do have to get the ball past the midfield line in 20 seconds, or you do give up possession. That is I don't know if it's called a backfield violation, but it is a violation. So the Knights give away possession on what could have been a fruitful offensive attack as the clock continues to wind down. And the wind continues to beat onto my microphone. 60 seconds on the shot clock for New Paltz. New Paltz looks for the shot, gets deflected up high. Lean makes the save. Dombrowski tries to knock it down, wins the ground ball. A very efficient ground ball winner is Dombrowski. Into open space with no one around him is Chufo as he continues to charge forward. Wonderful placed pass from Keene previous. As Pagano waits for his attackers to sub onto the field. As Mackay will take possession here. The Knights will slow down and look for their first goal of the game. Mystic now. Works around a gentle screen. Wilbert still having none of that. Mystic keeps charging, looks for a cutter inside. Mystic can't quite get anything around. Finds a man inside. Mitchell now gets smoked and loses the ball as New Paltz charges forward. So another very strong defensive possession from New Paltz. As New Paltz has a shot, lets it fly, bounces off the floor, and they're there first, so they'll maintain possession. Though a dangerous transition. The Knights almost caught asleep as the clock continues to wind down. As New Paltz has another opening. They charge inside, they shoot, they score. McLaughlin gets on the board as the New Paltz charges forward 4-0 in this first period. So a strangely ironic matchup today as, by the numbers, New Paltz scores a ton of goals. The Knights don't score a lot of goals, though the Knights prevent a lot of goals, and New Paltz doesn't prevent a lot of goals. So you be the judge as to what the scoreline should be or what it could be. As the Knights looking to win the ground ball here. The faceoff went the direction of the New Paltz half, though Corella loses another faceoff to the backup faceoff specialist of New Paltz. So a FOGO, as they call him, a faceoff and get off player. Brendan Lloyd finding himself a pretty fruitful day from the center circle as he gets some unexpected minutes, I suppose. New Paltz charging in here can take up almost the entire shot clock and game clock in this first period. Some snappy passing around. Takes another rip. Saved by Lean. And now shot clock well ahead of game clock. Almost double game clock. So the Knights can take up the rest of this period as long as you get this ball across the midfield line. We've got less than 10 seconds. They need to move it. Make it 5. They're going to lose this ball if they don't move it. A Hail Mary pass as Mitchell is there first, though he supposedly is not. And the Knights lose possession once again. So after making a defensive stop, they could not get the ball past the midfield line, as I believe that is the second time they lost the ball in that fashion. Chufo intercepts it, 10 seconds left. The Knights looking to just hold on to this for the rest of the time. An obnoxiously loud truck blasting party music was behind me. I don't know if that was audible on the microphone. As we get a whistle or a horn going in to the end of the first period. So I got a little sidetracked by that really loud truck. Though your final score after 1, New Paltz 4, your Knights 0. Don't go anywhere. So we'll have second period action in just a moment. So we're right back into the action. Welcome back on in, folks. This is Bob Houck on the call. Second period of action of men's lacrosse. Your Mount St. Mary College Knights taking on the New Paltz Hawks as New Paltz wins, get another ground ball. And we are straight back into the action, so I can slow down my speech. As a shot gets rattled off the ironwork. And that's how we start this period. The Knights looking to win a loose ground ball, lose it once again. As we will slow down and resume. So evidently enough, as we get a slight lull in play, the Knights are a better ground balling team than New Paltz this year, though in this game they have not been that way. Hasn't quite been the case. New Paltz been the overall better team, the overall snappier team. As a low shot is ripped off the floor, Lean makes the save. The Knights get the ball back. New Paltz, the far more aggressive team thus far. Of course, they've scored a lot more goals than, they've scored some more goals than the Knights this year, though they've let it double the amount of goals the Knights have. So the Knights, a better goal preventing team than New Paltz is. But New Paltz, a slightly better scoring team. So a dichotomy nonetheless, as we are about a minute and a half into this first period. The ball is bouncing around crazy as Dombrowski wins himself yet another ground ball. As he just recently made history as a 100 ground ball club member, I believe. Just a rather impressive feat. And was a Knight feature of the week, or Skyline featured player of the week for Lacrosse recently as well. So very talented defensive long pole. As New Paltz maintains possession though. Looks for an opening. Darting in and out of defenders. Another shot ripped by McLaughlin though. Finds the foot of Lean for the save. So last time I was in this booth, it was about 40 and windy out, and there was about 10 feet of snow surrounding the entire field. It was like a white stadium. So this time, about 55 and sunny, a slight breeze, and a lot nicer out. No snow on the floor anymore. We're getting much closer to spring than we have been. So a far more enjoyable experience for viewers and players alike. As those beautiful Beacon Mountains overlook this possession. 20 seconds and counting on the shot clock. New Paltz with some snappy passing around, looking for a cutter inside, finds him, shoots! Save is made. Dombrowski traps the ground ball for Lean, and we will reset. So another snappy possession. As Kannenberg loses that ball midair, bounced off of just the base of the stick head. And one defensive possession equals a given away possession for the Knights. So we resume back on offense. If you believe in deja vu, here we are again. Team's leading goal scorer, Finn Smith, with it now. Checks it on over to Hayden. Hayden back up top to Cleary. Cleary now. Cleary looks for a shot, lets one fly. Lean got a touch to it, though, went back up over the net. Another shot gets whistled wide. Blue jerseys all surrounding that ball as it'll stay on the attacking half for the blue and orange. As the wind is saying hello to the broadcast. So New Paltz snapping some passes around still, looking for openings. New Paltz been showing off their athleticism this game as they've been very quick to the cut, finding their way into slots rather than finding cutting men. So some impressive solo moves thus far and some nifty shooting. As the ball is whistled off the floor, bouncing out of play and over towards the courts. As New Paltz will resume possession, 17 seconds and counting in the shot clock. So the need for a shot is urgent. New Paltz looking for a way around, can't quite find it. Lets the shot fly, he scores! Nick Darkangelo gets himself a goal on the day. Bounce shot off the floor, beats Lean to his weak side. As the Knights fall 5-0 here in the second period. The Knights in the second period haven't even gotten an offensive possession yet, so 4 minutes in, the Knights haven't even gotten to hold on to the ball looking at the opposing team's goal. So backup goalkeeper Zach Novak having himself quite a breezy day thus far, though anything he's been tested to, he's been keen to thus far. As the Knights almost lose a face-off. I was not even looking. An impressive performance from Corallo to win that. Get it back. Takes a shot. And he scores! Oh my goodness. Joseph Corallo wins the face-off, wins the ground ball, charges forward, takes a shot, bottom left. Gets himself on the board. So 5-1 is your scoreline. And yes, I did miss a little bit of that, but I caught up. Wow, what a play. So the Knights get themselves straight back into this. As figuratively, we've thrown this thing right back into the melting pot. Exposing that backup Fogo, the junior Lloyd, gets bested finally by Corallo. A very young squad here for the Knights, so gotta find what you can find and let the youth movement rock. Corallo finding his stride, wins back-to-back face-offs as he is locking in and letting it fly. So he gets the ball back from Loftman as he looks to reset to his attacker, and he will exit the field. So the Fogo putting in one heck of a shift there as the Knights will reset. Mackay back up top, knocks it down, takes a hold of it. So the Knights will get about 55 seconds of offensive possession here after a little bit of a passing a boot, trying to find possession of the Pearl. Mackay tries to cut in, doesn't quite find it. Gets it back up top. Missick charging in, wants the shot, can't quite find it. Errant pass to Pagano, fired wide, and New Paltz is giving the ball right back, though the Knights have some new life here on offense. 10 minutes and counting, as New Paltz will get themselves a full 80 seconds. Tendy comes out, checks it up top to McLaughlin. McLaughlin charging forward, gets past the midfield line. And we have a clean possession, folks. McLaughlin checking inside, wants the shot. Errant pass gets fired out of bounds and is given back to the Knights. So a much needed defensive possession from the Knights, as Marino trots his way over and he'll reassume possession of the rubber. Maybe we won't go with that one. So gives it back to Lean. Lean now takes his time. Got to get the ball across midfield. Already been a problem a few times today for the Knights. Need a charge forward here. Marino tries to get his way through the attackers. He does. He keeps on going, and he will be clear and safe. So the Knights get a full minute of offensive possession as that errant pass goes past Lanzer, and his stick got checked by Hulede. Wasn't having any of it. So the Knights immediately lose the ball, and back up the field goes New Paltz. Ortiz now charging forward. Finds his man back door, wants the shot, goes low, doesn't quite find it. As Smith was over there, though, a full line change for New Paltz, as I believe possession is going to be given to the Knights. So the senior captain, Luke Dombrowski, will resume possession here with the rubber ball. We'll go with that one, as the Knights will look to try and get themselves past midfield. Loftman with it. Gives it over to Lean. Gets it all the way up to Missick. Missick loses it. Gets smoked by two defenders. Has to get across the midfield line. Fires it forward. Possession is dropped as New Paltz will get the ball by default. So either way, New Paltz would have found it because they won the ground ball, though the violation on the mount is what the call is finally. So Walter charges forward, gets it off to his attackers. Errant pass there. So New Paltz is the first one to it. Cleary wins it back. Takes his time. Finds the darting Hayden. Hayden now trying to get inside, wants a shot. Gets checked midair and decked. There's loose balls on the floor. The Knights trying to win the ground ball. Loftman does. And possession is awarded to the Knights either way. So 8 minutes and counting. The Knights have found some new life in this period as they look to try and get themselves another goal. Just had a problem a moment ago, not being able to get across the midfield line in time. They're looking to make that less of a problem, though it's not looking too great thus far. So that ball gets fired into New Paltz territory. New Paltz wins the ground ball back. So the Knights' woes of not being able to get across the midfield line after winning these defensive possessions continues to rear its ugly head, as New Paltz will get the ball, and they will snap some passes around and hold on to possession. As a timeout is called on New Paltz side, so they will deliberate about what they want to do with this possession. As I'll get to step aside for just a second. 5-1 your scoreline, 66 seconds of shot clock, 7:33 of game clock remaining when we come back in just a second. So we are breaking from both timeout sides here. The Knights looking to batten the hatches as the Hawks look to charge forward to extend their lead back to 5 goals. And if you're just joining us, welcome back on in. This is Bob Houck on the call. As back for the usual with Lacrosse here, as we have a wonderful afternoon midweek matchup between the new Paltz Hawks and your Mount St. Mary College Knights. As away we go, 60 seconds and counting on the shot clock. New Paltz looking to make a cut inside. Men moving off ball, can't quite find anything. Behind the cage goes New Paltz. Smith now with it. Finds Cleary. Cleary gets it back inside. Over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin tries to flick it back inside. Gets smoked as a save is made by Lean. So the ball got deflected inside. Lean made the kick save. He'll snag the ball and get it upfield. And this time the Knights are good. So the woes of not getting the ball across in time, not an issue. Chufo charging in, elects not to take the shot. He'll wait for his attackers to rejoin him as the timeout is made by White. So White as in the Knights. So 6:50 remaining, 67 seconds on the shot clock as the Knights will take themselves a moment to deliberate about this. Nevertheless, an intriguing matchup thus far. As I've already mentioned, New Paltz a high goal-scoring side. The Knights not so much. As a immovable object meets an unstoppable force. Though thus far it seems to be the Hawks are charging straight through the Knights' defense, as they've been experiencing a lead since the get-go. If you missed it, the Hawks scored 30 seconds into the match. The Knights have been trailing since. So we'll take just a moment here. Don't go anywhere. 5-1, still your score line as we get 7 minutes of second period action in just a moment. So both sides breaking from their huddle. The Knights have deliberated about what they want to do for this possession, hopefully looking to test backup goalkeeper Zach Novak just a little bit more than they have thus far this match. The Hawks certainly out shooting the Knights. They've been letting shots rip left and right. The Knights perhaps being a little bit too picky for where the scoreline's been. In hockey terms, you just got to get shots in deep, shots on net, and you'll find a bounce. As Mystic resumes play, 60 seconds in counting on the shot clock. So he loses the ball to 2 defenders, looks to win it back, can't quite. Ball gets flung well out of play. As New Paltz chases it down, tries to keep it in, and can't. So the Knights will get it back. And that will reset the shot clock. So slight bit of a break for the Knights as Mystic lost the ball up top. Not a frequent happening for him. Marino flies one way across the field to his long pole partner. Loftman lets one fly over the middle. Maurer now looking for options, has to get the ball across the line. Marino lets one fly, and it is snagged up by Mackay. So Mackay now, with full 60 seconds, looks for his attacking duo. Maurer now with it. Charging inside, plays around the screen, though Mackay got smacked in the face pretty hard there. A hapless job is screen setting. As the Knights look to play off the pick and roll. Go again. Mackay looks to get an opening, can't quite find it. Tries to find a pass to Missick, ball gets flung over his head, and the Knights will lose another offensive possession. So from a TLDR standpoint, the Knights have given away too many possessions in offense, and they haven't been able to keep up with the output of the Hawks. So the Hawks charge forward. The Knights not pressing them one bit. Let the Hawks get straight back into play here. Let's look at a full 70 seconds to work with. So the Hawks taking their time, setting up shop. Sending guys in and out as they got all their substitutes in. Hawks looking to cut inside. Can't quite find the shot. Loftman hacking away at the stick of Darkangelo. Or Darkangelo. I presume it's Darkangelo. As Burns loses a hold of it, looked to win the ground ball, accidentally kicked it away from himself. As the possession will stay with the Hawks. New Paltz now. Looking for an opening. Cleary checks up top to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now over to Yambor. Yambor back door. Smith fires over to Cleary. Cleary looking for an opening. Can't quite find it. McLaughlin now. Yambor again. Takes a shot. Whistles wide. Not quite on frame. Cleary closest to it. So Smith will resume our play. So Finn Smith from Syracuse, New York. Leading goal scorer for this for the Syracuse side, for this New Paltz side. Shot clock winding down, need to get a shot off. Looking for it, fires wide, shot clock gonna expire, and that'll be Knight's ball. McLaughlin let it eat again. Couldn't quite find the framing there. The Knights will get possession back, and they will try and get themselves back on the board with 4 minutes left in this second period and first half. High scoring output, definitely not the name of the game for these Knights this year. And of course, it never helps when you're down 4 goals and you're playing from behind. As they shoot one way up wide, Cannonberg gets his hands on it, so that'll keep a clean possession as the Knights charge forward. Maurer now looking to find some open space. Up top to Missick, and we will reset. Up to Mackay. Mackay now working around the screen. Can't quite find anything. Shot is fired and in the net. Missick finds himself a goal as the first legitimate test for the backup goalkeeper of New Paltz comes back with failing grades. So 5-2 is your goal line, scoreline, as the Knights look to try and steal as many as they can before we go into this halftime. So we will go back to the duel in the middle. Corallo and Lloyd to get back at it. Lloyd had a strong first period, though Corallo got on a roll, so we'll see who gets their get back first. As the Pearl is placed in between the S and the M, and we'll go for a duel. Corallo clean wins it straight back, his third in a row. As earlier in the game, he won the first goal of today's contest of the Knights for today's contest. Oh my God! Corallo won the face-off, won the ground ball, charged forward, and just scored the goal on his own. There we go. Wow, that was a jumble. That was brutal. So the face-off specialist being the difference maker to get the Knights into this contest, as the Knights' leading goal scorer marks his tally up to 8 on the year, as senior midfielder Henry Missick gets the Knights to 2 goals and about halves the lead of the Hawks. Wowzers. So, a lot for me to say, and I did fumble a good bit of it, but we're straight back into it. So Darkangelo, I'd assume that's how you pronounce it, with the ball now, taking his time. Rather swaggily gets it off to Yambor. Yambor back post to Smith. Smith over to Cleary. Cleary now. Checks back up top to Hayden. Hayden now. New Paltz looking for a shot. Can't quite find it. Snapping passes around. Looking for an angle. The Knights tightening up their defense quite heavily, not giving them anything. As New Paltz continues to fire around, an errant pass there, as that's going to go back to the Knights. So 2 minutes and counting for the Knights. Try and find themselves another goal, as they'll only get to eat up about a minute and a half of that. A little bit less, as they'll look to get this ball past the midway line. Marino charging forward. Lobs one over the top. Pagano looks to try and win it. Can't quite. He takes a massive hack at the lingering sticks of New Paltz as he wins the ground ball, though there is a timeout of the Knights. So Pagano with an impressive performance to win that jump ball. Gets it back, and the Knights take a timeout to deliberate. And we'll be back in just a moment. 5-2 is your scoreline. Don't go anywhere, guys. So we're getting straight back into the action. Welcome back in, folks. 5-2 is your scoreline as the Knights are letting the fight back into this contest. Bob Hauk yet again on the call. If you're just joining us, welcome on in. Beautiful Beacon Mountains overlooking this 60-second possession the Knights will have to maintain as they come straight out of the timeout. If you missed it, freshman Brandon Pagano made a phenomenal play to win the ground ball after a jump ball got sent over the top of the defense. As my temporary glaze gets immediately washed away as Pagano got hacked on by 2 defenders. And New Paltz charges forward here. Some passes around, looks inside, Lean makes the save, and the Knights look to get going here. About 10 seconds separate game and shot clock. The Knights losing yet another long ball. So they probably could have taken their time a little bit more there. And now, shot clock, I believe, just a hint behind game clock if I can do my math correctly. So New Paltz will be able to eat up most of this game clock, but not all of it, as they will look for the best shot they can find to end this half. Still ahead 2, so they can take their time, though they've been all gas, no brakes. McLaughlin looking inside, can't quite find anything. It's fired inside. Shot and goal is scored, as New Paltz will extend their lead by 4 going into the half marker. So an impressive inside play as the ball gets fired down low and past the extended legs of Lean. So the goal tally gets moved to 11 this year for Finn Smith. I was waiting to see who scored that goal. I thought it was Smith. I wasn't sure. So we get another duel at the center marker here, as Lloyd and Pagano go at it again. Pagano getting the lowest as he is on a roll. He's found his stride and wins another one for the Knights. So the Knights looking to get themselves back into this as much as they can. Kannenberg looking for options. Finds one up top. Loftman over to Mackay. And we'll give it just a second here. So 30 seconds left in the half as the shot clock is double that. So shot clock does not matter here. Mystic charging in. Wants a shot. Fires it off the floor. Had the angle. Didn't quite have the placement. As I was about to say strength. Strength maybe because he put it over the net. But the Knights still maintaining possession. 20 seconds now as they'll look for another shot. Mackay stutter steps a little bit. Works around the screen. Wants the shot. Can't quite get it. Keeps moving in, gets past the defender, gets it back inside, shot, goal! Devin Lanzer gets it in the slot, lets it fly. 3-6 your scoreline going into the half, 9 seconds left here. The senior attacker, Devin Lanzer, finally gets himself involved, and he's dead-eye. So I was just thinking, I didn't mention, but I was thinking the 2 sharpshooting attackers, Hayden Mitchell and Devin Lanzer, have been nearly invisible through this first half, though finally, the big 2-4 is found, and he doesn't miss. So the Knights trailing by 3. More than likely going into the half here, unless something crazy happens in 9 seconds. Lord only knows in lacrosse. Pagano and Lloyd square off again for another face-off. As I believe Pagano has won almost the last 4 and wins this one. Almost wins this one. Had the ground ball, got hacked out of his hands as the clock is going to expire. So that face-off won't exactly matter for anything. As your score at halftime, 6 for New Paltz, 3 for your Mount St. Mary College Knights. Don't go anywhere, folks. Things are getting heated up here, as we'll be back in just a few minutes for some second half lacrosse action. So welcome back in, folks. We're about to get into some second half action here in just a moment. The Knights down 6-3. The TLDR from the first half. The Knights not shooting the ball enough. Getting outshot 25-9. So well over half, double their shot total is New Paltz, flying ahead to a 6-3 lead through 2 periods of play. Been alerted to 2 stat tracking events here in the second half. Potential history makers. Luke Dombrowski looking to be the program leading record holder for forced turnovers. 3 more is the total he's looking for. Kenny Lane looking to be the all-time saves leader in program history with 10 more saves. So I'll be trying my best to keep track of those, and I will alert you when and if that happens this half. As we get back underway, 15 minutes and 15 more to play for these 2 sides. So Pagano and Lloyd going back to the center line. As the Knights dominating faceoffs today, as they end up losing that one. And a violation leaves the ball in the hands of New Paltz. Or hands of the Knights, I apologize. I thought I saw a hand going to the left side of the field. It is not. So even through violation, the Knights still win the faceoff as Corallo on a roll today. So the Knights take their times. Mackay up top with the ball, calling ISO as he looks to make a move in towards the attacking end, and away he goes. So he takes a rip. Novak makes the save. New Paltz wins the ground ball, and they're going straight back up the other side of the field. So checks it off. New Paltz charging in, takes a shot. Save made. Lean looking to get there first. Ball's still going to stay with New Paltz. So New Paltz resetting the play. As McLaughlin now has it, looking to make a cut inside. Tries to find his man back door, doesn't quite. Sails over the head of Hayden as Yambor looked to try and win the ground ball. Dombrowski having none of it. So Lean already 1 tick closer to that record. 9 more and counting is what he needs for the program record. Dombrowski, do not believe has forced any turnovers just yet. A heavy collision midfield there as Mackay, shaking his hand, got smacked on there. As New Paltz gets the ball back. Apologies. I was looking at the substitutes and I was looking at the live stats. So New Paltz gets the ball back. They're charging forward. As they snap some passes around behind the cage, and the wind is reintroducing itself to this contest. Smith looking for a shot. Lean makes another save on a wicked side armor from Yambor. As the ball still stays with New Paltz, another rip, and Lean makes another save. So back-to-back saves from Lean gets him 2 ticks closer to that record. As a monstrous turnover is caused by Craker as he walloped Marino on that one. Marino losing his entire stick as New Paltz will get that ball back. Oh my God. Craker's having none of it. The senior captain, or not senior, the captain. No, I had it right, the senior captain, there we go. Was hacking away at the medal. And he got a full reward and some. So New Paltz resumes offensive possession as they're looking for a shot. Snaps some passes behind the net. As this ball ricochets off of D'Arcangelo's stick. Cannonberg in pursuit, takes a hack at it, can't quite find it. Ground ball won back by D'Arcangelo. D'Arcangelo looking inside. Smith can't quite find the shot. New Paltz resets, takes their time. McLaughlin gets it back behind. Smith gets it back up top. Into the slot, looking for a shot as New Paltz shoots and scores. Finn Smith gets one in the low slot, rips it top shelf. finds another goal in the day. As his season tally is up to 12, his daily tally up to 2. New Paltz 7, your Knights 3. So we're back to the face-off circle once again. As Pagano wins himself yet another one. So Aiden Ole was brought in for a face-off there, though he was not very keen to the task. As Loffman fires an errant pass, and New Paltz just gets it straight back, despite the phenomenal face-off day from Pagano. Smith now directing some traffic. He'll hold up. Gets it over to Darkangelo. Darkangelo now waits, looks for his attackers. Cleary populates the area. Tosses one over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now looks for Cleary, goes back over to him. Cleary loses it, though he's not getting pressured for it. Back behind the cage is Darkangelo. Darkangelo looking to get around the block. Takes a shot. Lean makes another save. Dombrowski getting pestered for it. Gets it over to Lean. He gives it to Marino. Marino now looks to charge up field. He lets one fly into some tough traffic as there's a massive collision midfield there. And New Paltz ends up with the ball. So a little bit of a hospital pass for Hector Martinez, though both guys are okay that collided. So Smith has it now. Taking his time, gets it back up to Darkangelo. Darkangelo now over to Cleary. Cleary will take his time, gets it back over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now charging in, 10 minutes and counting on the shot clock. He lets it fly. It gets deflected. I don't know if there was a save or not on that, though it got deflected and it fell away. Loffman wins the ground ball, gets it up top. As Cannonberg gets it in to Pagano. Pagano now. Over to Maurer. Maurer can't quite find it. He had an open shooting lane if he did. As Mystic charges just straight through that. Had no intention of winning the ground ball, though he ends up fruitful for the possession. And I believe I mistook Corallo's name for Pagano earlier. I apologize. They both have a similar ending sound, as Corallo is on an absolute tear today from the faceoff circle. So if I messed that name up earlier, apologies, though. We forgive and we forget. So Mystic looking to charge in, can't quite find a shot, bodies a man, wants the shot, takes it, bounces wide. Though Knights are there first, Lanzer gets to reset the possession. Gets it into Mackay. Mackay looks for the back pass, backwards pass, doesn't quite get it, hacks a stick, tries to get it back, loses it. As Hulede gets it, he just charges forward. Wants the shot, takes it, gets saved by Lean. So Lean up to 15 saves on the day, looking for 6 more for the program record from what I was informed. As 8 minutes and ticking, as Lean will reset and get it off to his long pole. Loffman charging forward, gets past in time, gives it off to Maurer and will reset. So Mackay now, taking his time, directing some traffic, looking to get past the man. Does, keeps charging, looks for the shot, shoots, and it's saved by Novak. Novak can't quite find it, and it gets into the net anyways. Oh, jeez. So Novak made the save. He lost the ball. megged himself, and a goal is awarded to the Knights. So 7-4 is your scoreline. The Knights only down 3. And don't go anywhere because we've got a ball game. Goodness gracious. So all over the place here as the Knights continue to fight their way back into this. And I'm no genius, but I did mention that you just got to get shots on frame and something will bounce your way, and that was the bounce. Divine intervention or not, the Knights did find a goal off of it. So they'll look to continue to get their shot totals up. As we'll resume to the face-off circle. The hot hand Corallo looks to square off again with Lloyd. As he bodies Lloyd and gets the ground ball, charges forward, wants another shot, takes it. Doesn't quite get the goal. Novak with a great save. An errant pass goes flying over, but Yambor wins the ground ball, gets it over to Smith, and now New Paltz will reset. Gets over to Yambor again. Yambor looking to get past Marino. Marino, an intimidating force, causes Yambor to pass it off. D'Artangelo now looking to get past Martinez. Martinez having none of it. Over to Cleary. Cleary now. On over to McLaughlin. An awkward pass as Marino snags the turnover, wins the ground ball, and he tries to get out of his zone. Over to Lean. Lean snags it off the floor, gets it over to Loffman. Loffman now directing traffic. Charges forward. He should have a clear lane into the halfway line. Dombrowski loses it, though gets it back. Gets across the midway line, so a clean possession for the Knights. Dombrowski, the one that ends up with it, though, looks to try and get it off. Dodging defenders as he gets it out to Maurer. So the attacker with it now will charge in and wait for his attackers to resume their positions. So it gets reset to Mackay. Mackay now will take his time, gets it over to Missick. So Mackay technically the most recent goal scorer, though I believe it is an own goal on Novak. I would have to see how that gets scored. So Missick charging in, wants a shot. Can't quite find it, gets it back door to Lanzer. Lanzer over to Mackay. Mackay looking to make a move. Lets it fly, and he scores! So dips the shoulder, lets it rip off the right hand, and bounces it into the top end. The Knights only down 2 as they are fighting their way back tooth and nail in this contest. And if you were looking for a exciting matchup on a Wednesday, you found it. So the white and blue fighting for their lives against the orange and blue, as we've got quite an Hudson Valley tussle here as the wind is overtaking my commentary. And Corallo will look to continue his hot streak today from the faceoff circle, really enjoying his time against the backup Fogo. As the ball is trickling around, the ground ball is looking to be won. Ball keeps bouncing around. No one has truly secured the ground ball just yet. New Paltz flicks it back to their own end as they do eventually win the ground ball. So the faceoff ended up just kind of falling around in the circle, and the ground ball got kicked around, though New Paltz does end up on top of the tussle as they got 60 seconds and counting to work with, 5:30 and counting to work with on the game clock. As they will take their time. Cleary now standing around with the ball as he awaits his attackers to rejoin the play. McLaughlin now. In defense is Canterbury. Now Loffman leading the defensive unit up top. It's Chufo. Chufo looks to smack it off as the shot is had, and it is in the back of the net. Straight through Chufo, straight through Loffman goes D'Arcangelo as he goes bottom bins and extends the lead to 3. So the Knights found 2 goals in the third period. They were winning the period, though just conceded. So New Paltz maintains their lead. Scarola wins himself another one. Catch him if you can. I don't think you will. And we have less than 5 minutes here in the third as the Knights look to fight their way back into it. Back over to Lanzer, one of the goal scorers from today. Flings it all the way up top to Maurer. Now Maurer gets it over to his fellow midfielder. Mystic now charging forward, wants a shot, lets it fly. Novak with a great save. Has no business with it, gets it straight out to Smith. Smith now charging forward, has some teammates, looks inside, a phenomenal team play, and a goal is had once again. Luke Walters gets himself on the scoreboard as a phenomenal tic-tac-toe. Finds the pearl in the back of the netting. New Paltz extending their lead to 4. As the Knights slowing down after a phenomenal start to this quarter, or period. So 9-5 your scoreline. New Paltz is outscoring their goals per game, and the Knights are right on par. So the Knights look to outdo themselves of what they can usually put on the field, as another victim in the safe face-off circle loses one to Corallo. As Cassidy took the L and tripped Corallo, so there will be a man-up advantage once New Paltz finds possession of the ball. There goes the whistle. And the Knights will look to cash in. The Knights not so efficient. Only about 13% on the man-up advantage. Only scored a handful of goals this year. So they'll look to go get a power play Gino, as they're still down 4. As Cassidy completely took the legs out from under Corallo. And he is penalized for it, so he'll sit a minute in the sin box as the Knights will get a full 60 seconds of man-up play here. Mackay resumes. Mystic gives it back, and Mackay back over to Pagano. Pagano now over to Mitchell. Mitchell back door to Lanzer. Maurer with it now. Maurer looking for options. Gets Mackay up top. The Knights, some off-ball movement here. Kai faking the shot, getting off to Mystic. Mystic lets fly. And that is saved up pretty easily by Novak. Novak flings it over to Hulede, and Hulede charges back upfield. Haladi, that's apparently how that's pronounced. Apologies. Cleary now gets it back over to Darkangelo. Darkangelo, one of the most recent goal scorers. Right before Walters' great goal off of a phenomenal team play. New Paltz charging in here, looking back door. Yambar almost drops it, but he holds on to it. Gets it back up top. Smith looking to charge in. Dombrowski having none of it. He almost causes the turnover, and he does. Dombrowski smokes the ball, looks to win the ground ball back. Can't quite. Ball falls out of play and stays in the possession of New Paltz. So still looking for that record, needs 3 caused turnovers to become the all-time leader in them. Didn't quite find it there. New Paltz still charging in, takes a shot, saved by Lean. Ball is intercepted. New Paltz charging in here, takes a rip. Another save by Lean. Lean gets it out. Off and all by himself. Can't find the ball, it's behind him. Whoa, sidesteps a man. Completely falls over, though the ball gets flung all the way back upfield to New Paltz. New Paltz back in transition once again. Have a jailbreak. Decide to slow down here, so jailbreak no more. As they will take their time and reset. Ball over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now. Looking for teammates. Yambar charging in, wants a shot, doesn't quite take it. Darkangelo looking, wants a shot. Up and over Lean. This ball bounces past Lean. Out of play. And Smith will obtain possession, 40 seconds and counting on the shot clock. Just a little bit ahead of game clock. We got a minute 15 and counting now. Shot is wanted, though ball gets flung away. Pagano tries to win possession. And ball is given back to the Knights. So Lanzer now with it, resumes play, is getting bombarded. Gets it off to Maurer now. So we got a minute left in this period. An awkward position as the ball is picked off. And a body is completely flattened by Mitchell. New Paltz charges forward. New Paltz wanted the trip, wasn't given the trip. As Smith resets, gets it back over to Cleary. Cleary now. D'Arcangelo up top. Makes a move, looks to get inside. Looking, doesn't take it. Back behind the cage goes New Paltz. New Paltz cycling now, looking for another shot, takes it. Saved by Lean, almost saved by Lean. Lean hacks out and gets it back. So 10 seconds, the Knights got to move here if they want to make anything happen. Fires away upfield, Pagano's by himself, finds it. Gets it inside, almost deflected off of Mitchell. Had an open look on the net, he was all by himself. The ball just trickles away into a harmless area on the field, and the Knights remain down 4 going into the 4th. So Dombrowski has caused 1 turnover, and Lean is 4 saves away from the record. Dombrowski 2 caused turnovers away from the record. So records, this record's that. The Knights still down 4. We'll be back in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere for some more men's lacrosse action. So we'll flip the fields as we'll get into 4th period action here. The Knights showed a pretty strong showing in the 3rd period, though they're still down 4 goals. 9-5 is your scoreline. Welcome back in, and or welcome in if you haven't been with us just yet. This is Bob Houck on the call as the Knights look to get themselves into a competitive striking position while the New Paltz Hawks look to hold on to their game-long lead. Corallo and Lloyd square off again in the face-off circle as they battle for it. Corallo almost wins it again as Loftman looks to win that ground ball. He does and he doesn't. Gets swatted out of his hands and the ball goes the other way, though Corallo once again wins the face-off. He's had Lloyd's number all day. So New Paltz still gets offensive possession as they get into the attacking zone. A long pull on it, which is a little bit odd as he will check out. As New Paltz fires some passes around, they look for an opening. But nifty on some passes, looking back door. Dombrowski took a hack at it, missed. An awkward shot and up and out of play as New Paltz will hold on to it. So 14 minutes and counting as we are just through the first minute here of the 4th period. New Paltz going back up top. Once a shot gets whistled well wide. My God. As New Paltz will still hold on to that. That was a firecracker if it found any part of the cage, though it didn't. As New Paltz will resume their possession. They've been holding a pretty strong offensive front today, as seen evident by the scoreline. The Hawks looking to find their way around. Yombor can't quite. Gets it off to Hayden. Hayden now can't find his way around Burns. Goes back up top to Yombor. Yombor doesn't want it. Darkangelo gets it off. Wants a shot. Wide. Missed lean stick. Missed everything, as it'll stay with the New Paltz Hawks, though. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Finn Smith resumes. He'll have to try and get in here quick. Chooses to do nothing with it, and he'll give the ball back. Not a lot you can really do when you get the ball given to you in the far corner with 5 seconds left, so a calculated effort to take the shot clock violation, as the Knights will resume play. Dombrowski standing with it, gives it back to Lean. Fires it over to Burns. As they have to get the ball across here. This is bad. Almost, and they do. So they did get it across, but not in time. Dombrowski gets beat by a second, as the Knights give away the ball on a very clear possession they should have had. As Finn Smith will resume here, as he awaits all of his attacking subs to get into the game. Finds a pass inside. Back door completely uncovered is Hayden, as he dekes Lean and gets himself the freest goal he'll probably ever see, as New Paltz goes ahead 10-5 here. Back to the face-off circle we go. Crawler wins it clean this time, and Heach is charging forward. Finds a shot inside the Lanzer. Lanzer tried to find the crazy angle, couldn't quite. Shook the cage, though I think that was from Novak running into it. As Pagano will get it, he'll check into Maurer here. The Knights are going to have to hit a higher gear if they're going to have to get themselves back into this game. 12 minutes and counting, as they are down 5 goals. As they just haven't really been able to find their footing on offense throughout this matchup. Mackay getting around, looking to get around the defender, can't quite, stuck behind the cage, still wants the ISO, he keeps going, takes the shot, bounces off the cage, I think, to the back of the field, as Pagano is there first, and the Knights will maintain possession, 60 seconds and counting for them. Maurer tosses an errant pass, almost gets picked off. Mystic holds on to it, as he's getting harassed up top by the long pole. Loses his stick almost, loses the ball, looking to win the ground ball back, loses it. An impressive play by Cassidy as he gets the win. Another shot had, big save by Lean. Lean clamps it down, not having any of it. So Hayden was looking to beat Lean again. Lean said, no, sir. If I've got a fair one-on-one, I'm going to win it. As Mackay has the ball, he'll wait for all of his substitutes to get back into the game here. As he's getting harassed on the far end of the field. Walter's trying to win it off of him. Can't quite, though. Halati got in there, too. As somebody's going to win this ground ball. It gets flicked around. Looks to be the Hawks. Not quite. Marino smokes a man. Gets the ball. As he retains possession for the Knights. A monstrous hit there. I don't know how legal that was, though. We'll continue play. Whistles had. Something was called. I couldn't hear what the referee just said there. So loose ball violation, as there is not a full penalty given on it. Or I thought it was some sort of violation. I suppose not. Seems to be we're back into it. Okay. Ball is fired to no man's land all the way up top. The Knights still down 5, 10 minutes and counting. For positive points in this game, Lean, creeping closer to that record, needs 3 more saves to become the program leader. So despite the Knights losing, there are some bright spots here getting into the latter half of the contest. D'Arcangelo checks up top to Cleary. Cleary now. Gets it over to Yambor. Yambor back post to Smith. D'Arcangelo shoots, scores. Nice inside fake, goes far side, beats Lean on his strong side, and makes the lead 11-5. The faceoff squares off again as Lloyd loses yet another one. Really the only truly bright spot from today for the Knights is the efficiency of Corallo on the faceoff circle as their scoring woes continue. So they're right on average. And for those who don't really watch a whole lot of lacrosse, 5 is not a lot. No shade, though. 5 is really not a high total. That's not going to win you a whole lot of ball games for lacrosse. So Nebraska makes a spin move, tries to get his way in here. He does. He keeps on charging in. He wants the shot. He takes it. Gets saved by Novak. Ball gets fired up in the air. Mackay wins the ground ball right back, and the Knights have full 60 seconds to work with as they will get their attacking substitutes in here. And they'll take a full reset. Ground ball is won by New Paltz. Charging forward here is the Hawks, looking indoor for the slot. Can't quite find it, gets deflected. As I thought Haladi wanted the shot, he didn't. He passed it off. Long poles can still shoot, though they usually don't. Finds a shot, whistles wide, though there was a whistle on the play. And the ball is given back to the Knights. There was no verbalization on what the call was, though the Knights end up with the ball. A man violation of some sort, I believe. So Knights taking the time, though. They got to get this ball out of here. Mackay gets it. Needs to pass it off. Not going to get there. And yet another violation on the Knights as they're going to give away this ball. So New Paltz charging forward here as all the defensive subs aren't even fully in for the Knights. A wonderful pass inside, a wonderful shot by Finn Smith. As New Paltz goes up 12-5. So New Paltz's offense getting on a roll today, finding themselves out ahead of the Knights' struggling side. As they extend their lead to 7, their biggest of the day. And we have 8:22 and counting for the rest of this game. With yet another face-off win, though down 7, I don't know how much it matters. Though he really has been on one heck of a roll today, so. New Paltz charging in, nobody even covering them. Lean left all by himself. As the floodgates are breaking open, and New Paltz charges ahead by 8 goals now. So bad things just get worse for the Knights as their defense has not been on the right foot today, and the offense just cannot find the right foot today. Tough face-off here as Corallo finally does not win one, and New Paltz gets themselves an immediate possession. And they'll be able to eat up as much clock as they want as they're up 8 goals and can enjoy the fruits of their labor. D'Arcangelo checking inside. Smith lets one fly off the floor and gets the goal. So it just continues to pile on here as the Hawks, feeling no need to take their foot off the gas pedal, continue to go to work. So up 9 now. It's starting to become a crooked number. So an awkward face-off there. As the ball is eventually won by New Paltz. So the substitution for their face-off ends up being fruitful as they get the ball back. And it's intercepted as the Knights will take over here. So down 9, looking for a goal for Pride as they've got 6:55 and counting to work with. Trying to get the ball upfield, they will. Loftman checks it over and gets intercepted. Was looking for Chufo on the play as New Paltz is charging in again. Takes a shot, scores. Hayden goes down low and beats Lean 5-hole. And the Hawks continue to pile on here as they are up 10 goals with 6 minutes left. So there's a timeout on the White side as the Knights will take a moment to catch their breath and figure out what we got to do here to get ourselves back up off the mat with 6:35 remaining. But we will be back in just a moment. So if you're just joining us, welcome in. And if you've been here, welcome back. 15-5 is your scoreline. New Paltz routing the Knights today as 15-5 is your scoreline. 6:35 is the time on the clock. As the hot hand, Joseph Corallo, will go back to the center circle for the face-off here. He's been as good as they get, though. A shimmer of light is about it as the Knights are still down 10 goals. Possession is won by Corallo once again. as he enjoys his day against the backup Fogo of New Paltz. Loftman loses the ball in transition, and New Paltz will get it right back. As they'll look to continue to pile on, they felt no need to slow down whatsoever as they continue to charge forward. So New Paltz waiting for all their substitutions to be made. They do. Get all their attackers in formation here as they'll have a full 60 seconds to work with. Shot off the floor and in the net. Was watching this passing back and forth there as Yambor lets one fly and gets himself another goal past Lean. As the score swells to 16-5. Lean still a breezy 3 saves away from the all-time record for the Knights, though not going to quite matter when you're down 11 goals. Nevertheless, face-off will resume in just a second here. As New Paltz sends a fellow freshman, Aiden Allett, out to try and take on Joseph Corallo for the faceoff. So Corallo says whatever, and he gets himself yet another one. Really the only thing to figure out for New Paltz after such a good game today is what the heck are we going to do about these faceoffs? Though you can only ask yourself so much when you're up 11 goals. So all up to the coaching staff here in the film room later in the week as they're finding themselves quite a tune-up here on a Wednesday matchup. So they will be resuming SUNYAC conference play fairly soon. As Mackay charging forward here, can't quite find himself through a gap. And he will circle back to the behind the net. There's 4.5 minutes left here as the Knights looking to find something for pride. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Mackay getting pushed, can't quite find a lane. Not enough bodies moving off ball. Maurer up top by himself. Second leading goal scorer on the team, though hasn't found himself any tallies today. Gets it back to Lanzer. Lanzer loses the ball in transition. As Novak getting hammered for the ball as a penalty is going to be called. As Novak made quite an impressive run with the ball after he grabbed up the ground ball. And Pagano, a little bit too much contact on the wrists. Can't beat up the goalie that much, though you might want to when you see him out in open space. As a goalie substitution will be made here. So if there's any clue to a rout or a blowout, it's a goalie getting substituted in, as Eric Waldron will step in to square off between the pipe for the last 4 minutes of this matchup. As about 60 seconds of man-up advantage will be given to New Paltz. So charges forward is Darkangelo, checks it off to Yambor, the most recent goal scorer. Gets it off to Smith. Back up top here as New Paltz are cycling the ball around. Looking for lane, can't quite find one. Snapping the ball around is still, enjoying this man-up advantage. Ball gets smacked. Looking to win the ground ball is Loftman. Loftman now off to the races. All by himself, has a little bit of support. Finds Mackay. Mackay looking across. Mitchell looks to shoot, can't quite get it. Shot, had, and goal for Lanzer, his second of the day. Welcome into the matchup, Waldron, as the first shot he sees goes straight through his legs. Onto the board are the Knights, though still down 10. They find themselves a tally for pride. 3 minutes 15 remaining, as there shouldn't be a whole lot of time remaining. left for the man-up advantage, or man-down disadvantage for the Knights. So whistle had and the face-off interrupted. As even through that whistle, Corallo won it, though we're going to have to redo it for unknown reasons. Can't hear anything from here. As Lloyd wins his first of the day, ground ball is bouncing around, and the ball still goes in the direction of New Paltz, or still goes in the direction of the Knights. So an awkward transition there, though I believe Lloyd will be awarded with that face-off win. So figuring out just a little bit at the end, but he can figure out whatever he wants when he's up 10 goals. And the Hawks will be going home very happy. Though a short bus ride, as they're only about 30 minutes north of our campus. So Pagano checks back in. He's been released from his sentence in the sin bin. As Mystic holds onto the ball, takes his time. Knights, not a lot to do when they're down a country mile here. There's 2.5 minutes left. As Maurer not being covered at all. Check set down to Pagano, up top to Mystic. Mystic now getting pressed. Pagano looking for cutter inside. Lanzer now getting hacked at. Mystic once checks off. Maurer now down low. Maurer wants a shot, gets dispossessed. Turnover caused as the young attacker loses the ball. A penalty is had in the backfield as New Paltz charges forward. Shot had wide. So more man up for New Paltz. You're going to hear it in just a moment here as an ice cream truck is passing through Powell Avenue. So if you need a sweet treat after this long day of lacrosse, you got it. So Mackay serving a 1-minute penalty here after he was whacking just a tad bit too much with the stick. You can't do that, as New Paltz will charge in with a man-up advantage. So here comes the ice cream truck. It's extremely loud, and it parks just strolling. Okay, I thought it was going to park on top of me. That would have been really annoying. It doesn't, so we're back at it. New Paltz now checking around. Fires in some passes, looking for a cutting man. Not quite there just yet. Tries to get us to the top of the key. They don't. So that will go to the backfield, and that'll be given back to the Knights. So the Knights with enough time to be able to kill out this entire clock, as the shot clock is only ahead by 1 second on the game clock. So cruising into the final minute here. As the Knights still down 10, they'll look to get one for pride. So in the meantime, I appreciate you folks making me a part of your Wednesday afternoon if you've been here. It's been a blast broadcasting this despite the scoreline. And from what I believe is final, Kenny Lean and Luke Dombrowski not finding their record-breaking stats just yet, so be on the lookout in the upcoming games for those. 45 and remaining here. Corral fires a high one to Maurer. Maurer loses it, and in transition goes New Paltz. So maybe I talked a little bit too early. New Paltz runs in here, wants perhaps not a shot. They'll be able to eat out all this clock. 30 seconds left. They don't have to do anything. As everyone will just relax their shoulders and await these 30 seconds to tick down, as the shot clock is well ahead of the game clock. 10 seconds now on the game clock. So 16-6 will be your final score here in just a moment, coming from Kaplan Field. So folks will start shaking hands early. That is final The New Paltz Hawks flying away with a 16-6 victory, up by 10 goals. And the Knights not quite finding their footing on offense. So nevertheless, thank you so much for making me a part of your Wednesday evening. As I will be signing off for now. Hopefully I'll be back around. But in the meantime, this has been Bob Houck on the call. Thank you so much for tuning in to Men's Lacrosse. Have a good night, and God bless.